Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. For Monday, August the 15th, I'm your host, Victor Monash. Today is a part 2 to last Friday's AMA episode. AMA episodes are Ask Me Anything, and I love to answer your questions. If you have a question you think is going to be of broad interest, send it in. I'll answer it live on the air. Send your questions to victor@victorjm.com. That's victor@victorjm.com. Well, last Friday, Joseph from Boulder, Colorado, asked a question about systems and software for his company that almost accidentally got into the excavation business. For a complete context, you might want to listen to Friday's episode first before listening to this one. I was thinking some more about Joseph's question, related how he got into the excavation business. So this episode is a bonus. It's not answering the question at all, but is the result of thinking about how a simple business like excavation could become a sought-after service rather than just a low-value subcontract. So Joseph, if you want to be in the excavation business, I would recommend that you consider having a differentiated offering. There's a concept in business called intentional congruence. Intentional congruence means offering products and services that are clearly distinct but actually go together. It's like milk and cereal, hamburgers and buns, popcorn and butter. People who do excavation, well, they're just digging holes. And digging holes is a commodity. Commodities are interchangeable, and the winning bid almost always goes to the lowest bidder. That's the proverbial race to the bottom. You calculate the machine time and multiply by the hourly rate. It's about as simple as that. But if you want your offering to be differentiated in the market, you want to have a different value proposition. Your service could offer a lower risk than any other service. So what are the risks? Well, number one, you need to know what's beneath the surface. Are you going to hit bedrock and have to either blast or chip? That could balloon the cost of the excavation. Is the existing material on the site suitable for building a foundation on top of it? Is it stable enough to support the weight of a home without shifting? Are there groundwater issues that could destabilize the foundation? The other risk relates to the excavated material itself. If the material under the ground was there from a previous project, it might have to be disposed of. Will the material be considered clean fill, or will it need special handling? Will the excavated material be useful in the backfill or in future grading of the site? And the key to answering these questions is to perform a geotechnical survey. So my suggestion would be to offer a two-step service. The first involves digging an appropriate number of test pits on the site with a smaller piece of equipment, like a backhoe that's street legal and can be easily transported to the site at low cost. Digging test pits would take no more than a few hours, and during that digging process, you would have a geotechnical engineer perform a site visit to take a profile of the soil so they can prepare a one-page report. Now, geotechnical surveys can be quite extensive, but for a single-family home, a short letter with some written recommendations is usually sufficient. Even the building department and the builder themselves may want the geotechnical report in order to ensure the home will be on a stable substrate. You could charge a fixed rate for the geotech after you negotiate a partnership with the geotech engineer of your choice. It could be a symbiotic relationship. From there, you're in a better position to quote the excavation job with greater accuracy than anyone else because you have a preview of the underground conditions. Your general contractor will have greater confidence in you because you have a much better accuracy in your estimate, both in terms of time and cost, than anyone else. You would cease to be a commodity, and you would add higher value. But before you take my word for it, you might want to take this idea and test market it with some of your existing customers and ask them the question, would they see the value in having a geotech report done before quoting the excavation? If you price the geotech and the test pits at a fixed price of under $2,000, would you consider that to be a fair price? Would it help you ensure greater precision in your trucking, your gravel, your site grading, and all of those estimates? The variability in the cost of the project would far exceed the cost of the geotechnical survey if you discover those problems after you start the excavation. It's possible that your builders say, no, don't bother, we have all of that handled, but I'm going to go out on a limb and propose they would probably see value in having a one-stop shop for this element. Once you develop a reputation for having a more complete offering, you will become the subcontractor of choice. If you include some add-on services like having a laser level, that way your excavation meets the specifications of the surveyor, here too you're going to have a higher product offering than your competition. See, the likelihood is low that they would use you for the upfront work on the geotech and then hand the work to someone else. The only circumstances under which that might happen is if you were actually unable to perform the work yourself. here too, if you've got that reputation, you're getting a lot of business, you might want to consider finding a few independent shovel operators who could work under your brand to handle the overflow work that you can handle with your own equipment. So today's show is a little bonus episode born out of thinking about your business. I want to thank you, Joseph, for an awesome question. And for the listeners at home, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.